I guess your sister still lives in the Bay Area, San
Yeah.
Francisco. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my family is all in the Bay Area in San Francisco, and I'm the only one.
Do you get down there to visit them quite a bit?
This year, yeah, trying to go meet with them again before during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Is it nice to, go down and you have an opportunity to see some different work and some different galleries and things like that, or not so much?
Not so much, because it's kind of more focused on, well, lately anyways, on just visiting my family and connecting with them and getting reacquainted. However, yeah, there are a lot of galleries and that I would like to kind of see next time I can go visit. I have to plan a little bit more now.
You can't do it all, that's for sure. And I know you're also sort of busy in the wine industry these days?
Yeah, I am. I am helping out at the Big Table Farm with Brian Marcy, helping him with the crush this year. This is my second year with him, actually. So, and it's been a lot of fun doing that as well as everything else.
Everything else you're doing, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of shifting gears from sort of the more cerebral work, maybe, of software development to crushing grapes.
Yeah, crushing grapes. But there is an analytical side of it, because there you have to do measurements and kind of focus in on what to do with the certain grapes and certain time of the process. So there's still an analytical point of it. Yet it's a lot freeing, because I don't have to necessarily be focused on certain things, aspects the whole time. I'm kind of like working with my hands and on my feet, constantly moving. I'm not in a chair in front of a computer, so
it's kind of a nice balance if you think about it. That from sitting in the chair in front of a computer and being really focused on something, some technical thing that you're doing, to painting, which is kind of free flowing and fun in its way, to the real physical work of working in a winery.
Yeah, there's a great aspect. I guess it kind of balances myself out a little bit.
And the nice part about the winery is that, he who crushes gets to drink.
That's true.
So there you go. There's that aspect of it. I wonder if have you thought at all about, do you do people? Do you paint figures?
I do, actually, and I have I've got some ideas. I haven't done a lot. I've done a few in the past, but I do like that as well. So it's just.
Have you gotten into any vineyard scenes, anything like that?
Not a lot yet. I did try out a few to kind of stage and see where it would kind of take me, and it's still some of those ideas that I kind of put on the shelf a little bit until it kind of comes back and kind of get to it. So.
Well, yes. So, like when you're in a sort of a moon phase or whatever, water, nature.
Right.
It's just kind of dreamy. It's kind of, what do you say? Not really whimsical is not the word, but kind of fantasy in a way.
Yeah. It's definitely right now, like with the moon aspect. I've been kind of painting with a sense of the mood, and capturing a moment that's not necessarily real. So with vineyard scenes and things like that, you're actually capturing a specific scene and how people are flowing, and so it's a different kind of mental approach to painting.
So when you go into the studio, do you have a sense of what you want to do, or do you just really wait for the mood to kind of strike you?
Well, I don't necessarily, nowadays anyway, kind of just wait for a mood to strike me, because otherwise I'd probably be waiting a long time. I've been kind of developing where I get in front of canvas and start painting, and no matter, if I have an idea or not, I'll just start putting paint on there until I get a subject matter. Like, well, in this case, I did have an idea in mind, and like I said, this is the one where I kind of staged the painting.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because I wanted to set more contemplative piece in which, you know, the individual in the corner was looking up above the trees and onto the moonlight as they're kind of gazing in. So I didn't have quite the perspective on paper, and so I kind of staged a shot with myself as a model.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. But I changed myself up a little bit on that painting.
And what about this one?
This one, I just love the filtered light coming in from the moonlight through the trees, and so that's where that idea came from. And we live up on, you know, above like 12 or 1,400 feet here in town, right outside of town. So we get some really great views of Mount Hood and all the other mountains like Mount Adams, and, you know, on a clear day. So I love that aspect of it, and they're just surrounded by trees as well. So I was kind of combining everything into it.
That's pretty. You get snow up there, don't you?
Yeah, we do. We get a lot of snow.
Have you ever been snowed in?
Actually, we did the big snowstorm, 2008. We had actually just moved in, and then the snowstorm hit. So
he's like, "What was I thinking?"
Yeah, it was a lot of fun for myself because I got to play with like 4 or 5 feet of snow. So got like my snowboard out and went up on a little hill and kind of just slid down, used it as a sled, or or did a few little runs. So
are you a snowboarder?
I am. Just not as much as I would like to. But
yeah,
it goes.
Time. So is your work now, do you have your work hanging anywhere at this point?
Currently, right now, I don't have any paintings out.
Okay.
Because I do have them all online on my website and just in my studio right now. At home.
So people can find you online, and then if they wanted to, do you keep regular studio hours? No.
To a
by
point,
appointment.
By appointment, yeah.
Okay. So in your plans at this point, you don't really have anything coming up in the next few weeks or months necessarily?
No, not right now. I don't have, because I'm focusing on another series of paintings, which actually involve more sunrises, sunsets. Well, more sunrises.
Okay.
This is still another moon painting, however.
Okay.
But well, like when you're talking about me working in a winery, it's just coming down the hill every morning at 6 or 7.
These early morning hours are.
Well, one of the great things is I get to see the sun rising. So there's this one viewpoint that I really enjoy, and it has Mount Hood on a clear day, and then the sun just to the right of it, like just about to rise. And I've been taking a snapshot of it each day. I go down the mountain, so I get a different viewpoint every day. It's always changing. It's a different sunrise. So it gives me a lot of material to kind of work with, because I love the colors when the sun kind of lights up the sky, or even when it's covered by you know, the morning clouds or the low level fog. It really just creates a different.
That's the thing that's so interesting, isn't it? The way the light filters through whatever is going on in the atmosphere. But with clouds, you know how when the sun's setting, and then there's that moment when they're really, really like pinky gold. And then 5 minutes later, they're just gray and it's gone. And it's like such a quick window. But to catch that is fabulous.
Yeah, so that's my hope is I can get that on canvas. I've got been taking a snapshot every day for the past 3 weeks. So
really,
we'll see where that leads.
So that was before the fallback thing.
Exactly.
So now all of a sudden it's everything's different.
Yeah, and my hours have been kind of changing as far as me going down working to the winery, because I kind of focus a little bit on some. So I got some daytime shots too, which I think will be great too, because then it has a different. It's just a different scene. It's just like you said. I mean, you get a lot of changes of light filtering in and out, and you never know what that scene will kind of show.
I think it's kind of interesting that you've done sort of a whole moon phase and moving into kind of a sunrise phase. It's sort of interesting to think about whatever's going on inside you that makes you want to focus on that.
It's definitely, well, I think all art is, represents the artist,
of course,
mind as well. So
yeah.
I mean, definitely at this stage in my life, it's more about forward movement. So I think that's where the sunrises are coming into play. So it's more action oriented. I think it's as opposed with the moon, it was kind of more retrospective, introspective.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. Now you're moving into a more outward phase.
Yeah.
It's kind of, when you think about that, I mean, it's like, do you have certain times of the year that you feel more energized about painting?
I would have said the summer is when I do a lot of that. And yet, I feel now, I think it's just because I'm in a different phase of my life, I'm feeling really comfortable with where I'm at with my artwork, and I really like the direction where I'm going. So not necessarily anymore. I mean, I think I'm just at a good point where I can paint and feel really good about what I'm putting on the canvas. So.
You can kind of direct yourself to have that energy for your work.
Right, exactly. So I think as opposed to before, I was kind of looking outside and attempting to find, kind of inspiration, where right now I feel like I have that within myself, and I can kind of tap into it a little bit more.
So do you think that, like, developing as an artist and being able to really sort of access that place in yourself, do you feel like you're getting better at that?
Yeah.
The more you do art, the better you are at getting there?
I definitely feel like, because I mean, a lot of my paintings, I like to express, a mood or expression of feeling. So it's helped me kind of connect a little bit more and say like, oh yeah, well I can, feel this kind of thrill and joy.
Well, I guess the reason I ask that is because, I think there's sort of that stereotypical thing about the software person, the engineering mind that kind of has that real closed off sort of linear type of brain that maybe isn't really, you're not in touch with your feminine side or whatever, the artistic side, whatever the, cliche you'd want to use. And so the idea that at some point you just said, I'm going to branch out, I'm going to continue to do this, but I also want to do this whole artistic thing. The more you do it, the more that develops, and it just, you really... I would say
that, I would agree with that at some point. I mean, it definitely helps to build be well-rounded in that. I mean, the more I kind of use this as like practicing that, I guess, being in touch and with those feelings. So,
it's kind of like meditation in a way,
right? Yeah, it is.
I mean, you go into a zone that's kind of the no zone, the nothing, and then what comes out is, whatever's been inside you. And I don't know. I mean, to me, these seem very evocative of, mood and introspection and all that sort of thing. So it just feels like it's kind of a meditative process maybe for you.
Yeah, you probably hit it right on the nail. It is a meditative process. I mean, I'd love to kind of let my mind go when I paint. So I'll just let the brushstrokes go and really just kind of follow along as what the canvas is kind of leading me to. So that's kind of general direction where I'm moving. Because sometimes I might have an idea in mind, like maybe I wanted the fish to jump in a certain way, and yet the brushstrokes or the colors, whatever it is, just.
That's what it gave you.
Gave me, and it was.
Well, Lester, thank you so much for being here today. It's wonderful that you could come, and we really appreciate that, and look forward to seeing what's coming next.
Well, thank you very much.